So let me show you how to put your line, embed your line of stitching in here the quickest way. So I'm going to deselect that fin, and I'm going to hit the E key on my keyboard and then click on the fin. You'll notice that part of the design is now red and part of it is grey. The red is the part that has stitched already up until this point where I just clicked, and the grey is yet to stitch. And so we can actually move our edit cross here through the design with our keyboard arrows. So the right arrow will move it stitch by stitch, and as you can see, as it goes through the stitches they turn red, and the down arrow will actually move 10 stitches at a time and they'll turn red. When I get close to the point where I want to stop, I stitch by stitch. Okay, that's the last stitch of the fin at the end of the tie off, and you can see because it started to turn pink here, ready for the jump stitch. If you're in the edit mode and you get your cross to where you want to start something, you can digitize it straight away and it will automatically go into that position in the design. You don't have to move it in the film strip. It won't land at the end of the design. It will actually embed in this part of the design. So let's go over to our outline stitch, our open object, sorry. Make sure it's a single outline, and so this is called traveling. We can use it under other objects as well. In this case I'm going to travel along this outline here just by digitizing a line carefully along here. I'm left clicking because it's fairly straight, but you could right click if it was a curve, obviously. Okay, I'm to the next fin now, so I'll press enter, and so that has actually put that line in there, and so there is actually no jump stitch there at all anymore, and the digitized line has replaced it, and it's a little bit more stable than a jump stitch. So that's fixed that problem, and I could continue on through the design if I wanted to using my arrows on my keyboard, or if I finished with the edit mode I can go press the end key on my keyboard and it will go right to the end of the design so that it's all red, and just to be on the safe side I always press escape to make sure I'm out of that editing tool. Okay, there aren't any more jump stitches that can be avoided. These two long ones here are because you can see here the green circle. That means that the first stitch is in the center of the hoop, and so that's required on some brands of machines so that the design actually centers in the hoop to have the first stitch in the center of the design. So I always leave it that way. Some machines don't require the first stitch to be in the center of the design, but I often change the formats for other brands of machines, so to play on the safe side I always leave the first stitch in the center of the design. But the white cross also signifies that the last stitch is falling in the center of the design as well, and that's not necessary, so I always go to arrange, start and end, and choose last stitch of design and go OK. So that means that this design will now finish here, so that's eliminated that last jump stitch as well. And sometimes it jumps and actually stitches up and down the one spot, which is really hard to get out sometimes right at the end of your design. Okay, now let's have a look at that in artistic view, and I'm going to bring it down a little bit so you can see the whole thing. Alright, so there's our fish. Now at the moment it's got an outline that is single, and that's fine, but I actually would like it a little bit bolder, so I'm going to change it. I've selected that outline now. I'm going to change that to a triple, and it's not letting me because actually when the auto digitizing occurred it turned it into a black work run automatically, so we need to break that apart first. Okay, and if we look at our film strip we can see that all the outline pieces have been broken apart. So now we can select all of those outline pieces, select the top one, go down to the bottom, hold down our shift key while we select the bottom one. Now all the outline pieces are selected. We can come over here to outline, and now we can select our triple. Alright, and we're in an artistic view, so we can't see any jump stitches, but in fact there probably are. There may or may not be because of the order. Let's just have a look in design view. No, you see we've got lots of jump stitches again from the outline because we broke apart that blackwork run. That's alright, our whole outline is selected at the moment, so we just reapply the blackwork run. And we need to have a start point, so we need to remember where we finished our last object so that we don't create another jump stitch. And the last object was this fin here, and it finished here. So if we make our start of our outline there, we won't have any jump stitches. Okay, click off and artistic view. Now it's a bit hard to see, but we have actually got a bolder outline around that now, and that makes a lovely design. Now if we go 1 to 1, it's still really huge. You could embroider this out like this if you wanted to, but in fact I would shrink it down depending on what project you want to do it on. So we can go edit, select all, and we can make it whatever size we like. And with this software, of course, it reduces the number of stitches, so we've still got a beautiful design. And then, of course, you just need to save it or send it to your machine. So I hope you enjoyed that. In the next video, we're going to look at doing the same fish as an applique, and we'll be working with this this design that we've got this far.